most films about veterans using cannabis are understandably pretty bleak. Trust me, I know, I've made quite a few. This, however, isn't one of them. Instead, it's a celebration of what's been achieved by the numerous small independent veteran cannabis advocacy groups and the tireless work of those that run them.
Hello there, and welcome to a rental car, where I'm on my way to Phoenix, Arizona. Why? Well, my friends, the Veterans Cannabis Group, are actually running a consumption clinic on a Veterans of Foreign Wars outpost in downtown Phoenix. So we're actually going to be teaching veterans to use cannabis as a medicine and actually how to use it. So I'm on my way in a rental car, driving for 13 hours or so to get from Northern California to Arizona to go and film all this. We've just left the Bay Area and we are now on the infamous Highway 5 south towards Los Angeles. We're going to be on that for about 210 miles. It's like this pretty much all the way. Alright, let's go. We're about 150 miles into it now, into the Central Valley. It's real boring. It's now over 3 hours since I left. We've done about 215 miles. I still have 576 to go, or 517 miles to go, and 8 hours left. Just filled up some gas. So I'm about 50 miles east of Bakersfield right now, going up through the high mountains. Another 460 miles to go, 7 hours. Welcome to the high desert. Well, we're just coming up to the halfway mark now. Yep, 400 miles done, 388 miles to go. Well, strictly speaking, it's not been an hour, but judging by the fact I'm losing the light pretty fast, I'm not sure if I'll have enough light to keep you being able to see me. Looks like it might rain. 471 miles in with 5 hours to go, 318 miles. Well, hello there. It's now, oh God, where are we? Let me quickly. We are now 565 miles in. We have 225 miles to go. And I'm stopping for dinner, which is a rather sad roll. Yeah, but still got a couple of hours before we get there. 3.5 hours, 225 miles to go. I guess I'll see you when I get there. This is a gas station, by the way. It's just a gas station. So I've made it to the hotel. It is a Hilton, I think, or something like that. No, Doubletree, but I can't really remember. It's over here. It's a nice evening. Not quite t-shirt weather, but it's not too bad. Welcome to Phoenix. This is the Doubletree Suites, Hilton property, I think. It's not bad. Nice little. What am I doing? I'll do this. A nice little bathroom. Right on. See you in the morning. Morning. It's 9:24 my time. Didn't get too much sleep last night, mainly because the people in the room there being a bit noisy. Got to bed about 2 a.m. Woke up at 6 when they did. maybe got 3 hours sleep. So today's going to be fun and interesting, that's for sure. But I've just heard that the vet guys have landed at the airport and they're heading out. So I'll get my shit together and get myself out of here. Here we are. So this is VFW Post 720. As you can see. Hey dude, how you doing?
Good, welcome. Cannavet Fest 2022. We're in Phoenix, Arizona at the VFW Post 720. Veterans Cannabis Group in partnership with VFW. This is where we're trying to show the VFWs and American Legions that we can work together, that cannabis is safe, that we can educate veterans about cannabis. We can have a safe environment for them to consume, for veterans to meet each other, to talk about cannabis, and just feel comfortable about exploring it, about using it, about meeting their local vendors, their local dispensaries, their local growers, cultivators, all right here. So come on in and enjoy the festival. This is Herb. Herb's our post commander here for VFW Post 720 here in Phoenix.
How are you? How are you doing?
I'm good.
This
Yourself?
is Matt. Matt's helping us document. Matt's been with us for a while, since the beginning really. Like we were talking about, we want to show the significance of working with the VFW,
Right.
the Veterans Cannabis Group, educating our veterans about cannabis, bringing them together, networking, creating a safe environment for them. And really what we want to do, Herb, is show other VFW post commanders and the American Legion across the nation that this can be done, that it's safe, and that it helps veterans.
Well, we happen to agree with you. At least I agree with you in particular, and that's because at this post, I'm surprised the number of people who have PTSD. But the real problem is not that they have it; is the fact that they don't know where to get help. There's no place they can actually go and find out about PTSD. What are the proper things that you can do to improve upon PTSD? Cannabis, it's got obviously kind of an evil overtone to it. And right now we need to get our vets educated in it so they understand that PTSD can be helped by either cannabis or CBD. Point being is that we need education. And right now what you guys are doing today is really helping us out because all your vendors, and I've talked to most of them now, they all have a story to tell about how PTSD can be overcome using some form of cannabis or CBD. So we invite what you're doing. We think it'll be good for vets, not just here, but all over the state and America.
So we really appreciate being here today.
No, and you're welcome, and you're welcome to come back anytime in the future. Anytime you want to come and educate our vets on how to help themselves, we're more than willing to help you out in that.
Awesome. Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Hey Aaron, let's go have a look around.
Yeah, let's go look around. Would you want to give me a tour? I've never been to your facility.
Sure.
Come on, give us a quick tour. Come on in here. Let's go check this out.
Hi.
Hello.
Who are you?
I am Jennifer Baxter.
How did you get into cannabis in the first place?
So I served in the United States Air Force for a little over 14 years, and I had a career in law enforcement. And throughout my career, I underwent several surgeries. I had back surgery, knee surgery, some foot surgeries, and I was able to maintain my career and continue to do my job until the year 2010, 2011 came along. I underwent a foot surgery that didn't go so well. Went under 2 more times to try and fix the problem, and I eventually was put up for a medical evaluation board. And throughout that process, I was put on a pain management program and was prescribed narcotic pain medicine, foot surgery, 3 foot surgeries back to back to back. Coincidentally, ended up being in a 6.5 year, I would say, toxic relationship with opiates, and when I was medically retired at the end of 2012. I lost my identity, so to speak, and ended up kind of just existing for several years. I went through 480 oxycodone every 3 weeks. I was prescribed 600 pills a month, consisted of sleeping pills, morphine, and anxiety and depression meds. So throughout that, it was like a slippery slope of medication, and got to a point to where I realized one day that I needed to do something different, or I was not going to be around much longer. So I had heard about veterans that incorporated cannabis into their wellness and did some research on it, and ended up going that route and was able to successfully transition off of all pharmaceuticals and treat everything from PTSD and anxiety to physical and sleep issues with cannabis products. But it wasn't just cannabis, it was getting my diet on track, finding a sense of purpose, having exercise, finding a community, and without the steps that I took, I wouldn't be here to talk about this story. And I just know how many veterans are out there struggling and how many have gone through or are going through the same situation that I was. And the military does a great job of building you up and creating this person, this tool that they need to do this job and complete the mission. But when your transition out is a 1-week class on how to write a resume and file for VA benefits, it doesn't really give you any tools to set you up for success and how to go about your life in the civilian sector. So finding a purpose, finding my purpose, this is everything that I have been trying to do since I kind of got myself better and healed myself. I continue, healing is a never-ending journey, so I continue to do so. But since then, this has become a strong passion for me, and just ultimately at the end of the day, our mission is to save lives.
Well, first off, we're the second oldest VFW in Arizona. Our charter started in April 25th of 1921. So we've been around
1921.
Just
100 years.
We just celebrated our 100th year anniversary.
Yeah.
And Governor Ducey actually sent down a representative to commemorate that fact for us at our Christmas party.
Excellent.
So we really appreciate that. But
Very
come
cool.
on in, let me show you. Come inside our members' bar.
Perfect, thank you.
You don't need to introduce yourself. Is that recording?
Tell me when to go.
You are the Soil King.
Self-proclaimed Soil King, that's who I am. Absolutely. Patrick King, aka Soil King.
What are you doing here, sir?
Man, I am here for a purpose. I'm here for the Veterans Cannabis Group. I'm a huge supporter of the veterans. I couldn't be the Soil King without what the veterans have done for me to allow me this platform to be here. So it's a reciprocal relationship always. You give what you get, and I'm giving back what I got.
How did you get involved with vets? I mean, what's that story? Is it?
Well, there's a long history of veterans, and I follow it, and I have a lot of veteran friends. And you know, the struggles that the vets have gone through with all the medical issues, and you know, just the fact that they couldn't, like back in 2015 and 16, I was doing a bunch of filming down in Central and Southern California. And I found out that, you know, these guys were growing some of the best cannabis I've ever done with regenerative agriculture. And they were producing this cannabis, yet they couldn't partake in it, right? Because they were going to get cut from all of their benefits, and they were, you know, and financial, medical, and everything. And right then I thought that was so sacrilegious that I had to get somewhat involved. And, you know, I awoke at that moment, and I realized that, you know, I'm a team player.
That's pretty much my story. I just found out completely triggered.
Crazy, huh?
It just pissed me off because there is this assumption in America that because there's a VA, everything's just dealt with. I had it for the first 7 years I was here.
Yeah, it just blows your mind when you really find out, you know, how worse it gets. It gets worse and worse and worse on those that should be treated the best. The more you unravel, the more you realize that where the fuck are we? What are we here supporting? Where is the content that's helping the veterans in cannabis? And that's what, you know, one reason I'm here today is for the Veterans Cannabis Group. And I'm watching this, you know, alliances come with the veterans in cannabis across the country. And it started in California that I seen it, and now I'm seeing it progress and move over. And here we are in Arizona. And I'm so proud to be at this event. And you're going to see me at a lot of veterans events, especially out here in Arizona and moving across the country.
Cool.
Well, basically, here's our members bar, and this is where this is like the heart and soul of our operation. We're open 6 or 7 days a week, depending what week it is. And our members come in here, and this is where they can relax and basically have a drink, play cards, play darts, coming back. This is where they come and this is where our members come, like I said, they relax, they can sit down, have a drink, smoke. It's the only place in our facility they can smoke, okay?
Okay. Inside the bar?
Inside the bar. Okay. Just like any other restaurant, except that since we're a private club, we can in fact have the guy smoke there.
Right.
And it's really hard for a guy that's been smoking for 40 years to stop smoking, so we let them smoke in here.
Got it.
But we play pool, we have dart tournaments in here, okay? We also have rooms that we're renovating right now. We have one that we just completed. It's called the Resource Center. We're just finishing it, but we're still restoring it. It's a resource center. Is where guys that come in that are homeless, don't know what their benefits are. We bring them in here. They can relax, watch television, and then we get online and get them signed up for the benefits that they need. And so it's just a place to relax and take care. I mean, it's just a big lounge.
It's like a resource center here.
That's right. And what we hope to do in our room that you probably won't want to take a picture of is in the room next door. We're in the process, we just got finished throwing out a whole bunch of junk in there. But this is the room, when we finish, it's a storeroom right now.
Sure.
We're going to clear this room out, and we're hoping that if we can get approval for it, to have this place where if people want to come in that have discussions or interaction with other people that have PTSD, they can come into this room and maybe sit here and experiment with CBD or marijuana, whatever they need. But this will be their room. Because for people who want to come in and discuss the problems they have with PTSD, we'll actually ask doctors, maybe some lawyers, and maybe even nurses come in and talk to them about the benefits and things they can do to help them with PTSD. But this room is going to be converted.
Very cool. Excellent.
Don't worry about it. I'll come back a lot.
To put her back in the speaker on. What brought you here? So what's your name, first of all?
I'm Mike Roth, and I'm a native here to Arizona. I was asked to come down here today to try and help some of the veterans either get their records expunged or to talk to them about impairment, get their driver's license back, that sort of stuff. My background's in the criminal justice system. I kind of grew up on the court benches. My father was a judge here in town, Chief Criminal Code Commissioner, Justice of the Peace of Scottsdale, Arizona. I entered the field of criminal defense work. I did that for about 30 years, 3-time certified specialist. I'm a former judge. I was a pro tem prosecutor. And now I spend most of my time trying to help people not get in trouble and separate the folks who can utilize drugs and alcohol from those who want to use it to become unconscious, basically. Well, it's easier today. One of the things that the legalization of marijuana has helped is to expose that alcohol is a drug, right? It's not a food, even though we treat it like a food, it's not, it's a drug. And so once you start down the path of drinking, you could end up as the crazy person who's screaming at you, why won't you give me my keys back, right? And most of us have had that person in our family or a friend, and they're good humans that you would leave your children with, and then one day, here they are, they're crazy. And so what we were doing is trying to help people understand before you get crazy, put systems in place so that as you start to stumble into not being able to trust yourself, it feeds back. I've also worked with groups, and we're currently working on impairment standards for marijuana. So instead of trying to measure a chemical in your body, where most of the country is at right now, 3 nanograms and you're high, look at instead the wellness range. And so we utilize technologies in your watches and in your phones to pick up what's called a gait, right? To see how you're moving, and then we feed back information to you and ask you to take tests, whether it's reading a paragraph, you know, to look for slurred speech, or looking at your eye for something called nystagmus.
Right, so you're looking for impairment as opposed to how much weed they have. Is that the number one problem in cannabis as well with vets, or?
Well, no, the problem with cannabis with vets is that they keep running in and out of federal and non-federal systems, and so it's an illegal product. It is an illegal substance. I mean, it is. Right. And today, a lot of the issues just have to do with the difference between CBD and THC, right? It's almost comical to the cops because it was so much easier when if you smelt pot, you're guilty, right? And now it's like, well, I don't know, that could be hemp, that might not be pot, or you could have a card, and so it's very difficult on the officers trying to figure that out. It's also, there's not a lot of good legal advice out there. I know there's a couple of groups currently that are using a hemp-based product that at dry weight is less than 3% THC, and so they're like, look, we followed all the laws, we're good, but then if you took that product and threw it through a distillation process, you could get 100% pure THC out of it. You would just get much less THC out of a hemp plant than you would, a good marijuana plant. And so some attorney generals and groups have told them, you can mail that across the country. And they wanted me to produce their products and do some stuff because I work in that field as well. And I'm like, look, man, I'd love to take your money and do that, but I don't think that's illegal. Like, I really think at the end of the day, when I test your product because it has 10 milligrams of THC in it, you should sell it out of a dispensary, not out of the Circle K. And I don't really want to get involved with selling THC in a non-THC environment.
That's a different question. I appreciate your time and everything you're doing, so your opinions and expertise is vitally needed in this space.
Not that you want to put this on film, but going through there downstairs, we have a basement. It used to be a brothel. Way back when, this place was converted from a brothel.
A lot of history. A lot of history.
You're making a clear point, it's been converted, yeah?
We have basically two halls in our VFW, what we call a small hall and our large hall. And in here we have all types of meetings and you may say small convention things. We rent out our halls, and that's where we get a lot of our money from. We rent our halls out, donations, we call them donations, so that we can take that money to help the guys in the streets. And we're constantly putting guys in hotels, picking them, feeding them. We, at least several times a year, we got free meals, like 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas. We'll give out free meals to veterans.
Awesome.
Okay. And this is
This
just
is where
one
you
of
have
our,
your members or your officers meetings.
we have officers meeting here, but not just our meetings. We have meetings, different organizations come in and rent the hall for their meetings.
Perfect.
This is rare. It's a rare week where one of our halls is not rented for something.
Yeah.
We do a lot of memorials. I don't even want to guess the number, but if I had to guess, we probably do, I don't know, upwards of 40 to 50 memorials here a year for veterans that have died.
Okay.
And so this is used for quite a few things.
Yeah.
In fact, that particular that particular charter there, right, that's our charter, and it's draped right now.
Yeah.
That's because one of our members just passed, and we drape it for 30 days when they pass, and so
Okay.
that represents that.
Okay. And this would be a good place to do some education on cannabis.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Well, I came down here and to tell my story about how I got into this business and involved in marijuana and CBD. So my name is Tyrone Palmer. I got into this business in 2016. I started off as an entrepreneur in a vapor business. I sold it. It became legal in Oregon. I went to Oregon, bought a 10-acre property. Did a 10-acre grow, then it turned into a 55-acre grow and sold out to corporate America. Then I came here to Arizona to retire, and I ran across that nobody had any education or lack of education in the CBD arena here in Arizona. So I opened up a chain of stores, which was called CBD Exclusively, and I branded it. And it turned out to be worth a lot of money, actually. So I had sold that again. I kept one store to keep me busy, but I actually am a disabled veteran, and I use the product myself. So when I was extracting cannabinoids before everybody really understood about terpene profiles and what it can do for you if you use specific items. And I use that knowledge and education to train my clientele. So I have a substantial following, and it does benefit people without getting the mind altered.
Right. So cannabis in the first place, I mean, a lot of veterans have told me it was, an alternative to opiates as opposed to...
I was on the VA regiment where they prescribe you everything to master issues, never cure, nothing, never really helping. And whatever mood you're in, some of the pharmaceutical stuff will intensify that mood. So if I'm paranoid feeling a lot of anxiety or feel like hurting somebody, and I took that pill, then I'm virtually out there trying to hurt somebody. So I needed to find something that was going to keep me calm, under control, to where I'm not trying to be a danger to anybody.
So it's like a normalizer for you.
Yes, I'm actually more focused and driven. I still have my moments, but it's more controllable. And then the VA doesn't have time to actually listen to a veteran or help a veteran. It's all about money and passing the buck and moving on to the next customer, so to speak. So,
And we have as much as 300 people in here. We have weddings, quinceañeras, you name it. We have it in this large hall. And you can see, we even have lots of dancers in here. People will come and rent the hall for dancers. We also have a full functioning bar for functions. If they come, we can do that. And that is a functional kitchen. That is a full, probably industrial strength kitchen right there. And so, and plus we have 2 bathrooms over here, so pretty much self-contained.
Is that where the edibles are being cooked?
I'm sorry?
Is that where the edibles are being cooked later on at 12?
They had it set up here and they took it down.
Oh.
Okay.
So are we doing it outside now?
We were just trying to have the DJ announce that we were
Okay, I
starting.
was gonna.
Yeah, the workshop will be indoors.
Okay,
Are they
perfect.
gonna do a workshop in here at all?
We're
Yeah.
supposed to. We got one at noon, one at 2, and then one at
Okay,
4.
well,
Okay.
you come in for that then. You can take.
So yeah, I was gonna say, let's get the DJ. to
We
make
just
a-
had them announce it too,
Perfect.
and then they announced it while we were in here as well. So
Perfect.
we'll see what happens.
Okay, all
People
right.
are still showing up, so we
Yeah.
shall see.
Okay,
But
great.
it's already a good event. People are making it
We're having
out,
fun.
right?
Yeah. Chef Turtle in the house.
And let's get baked.
Let's get baked. We got everything.
Let's get baked, all right.
Right here.
Once you've got that, we're gonna throw it into our honey. We're gonna get our stock pot right here, throw it on your stove with a little bit of water, and put it half on the burner, half off. So let's say this is our burner. We're gonna take it and we're gonna throw it just like that. So it's just got this part on the burner. This part is off of the burner. So we're cooking with residual heat and steam. Just like a sous vide, if anybody's been in commercial kitchens, you're cooking with just hot water and steam. So it helps lock in the nutrients, protect it during the cooking process, whereas if you cook on direct heat, you have a higher chance of burning everything off, overcooking, temperatures getting too high. With this method, it's more of control. Whatever temperature you keep your water at, that's the temperature inside the jar that'll stay.
And you'll use about 2 cups, depending on the size of your stock pot, of the water. You want it to be filled about 1 inch or 2 at the bottom of the pot so that it's just the steam coming up, but it's not too much water.
Correct.
So again, either 2 cups or about 1 inch or 2 of water at the bottom. So we are Let's Get Baked. I'm Kaylee, this is Angela. And I've heard some of the interviews that you've done where you're talking about veterans, and actually Angela is an Air Force veteran.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. I served 8 years in the Air Force.
When did you get out? When did you get out?
2008.
Oh wow. Okay, that was an interesting year for me.
I would just graduated high school.
You don't need to say that. That's just going to make me feel like a criminally old person.
Oh no.
Tell me about Let's Get Baked, apart from Let's Get Baked.
So we are a female-owned, LGBT-friendly, veteran-friendly bakery, and we offer hemp-based nano CBD infused upgrades. That's for cakes, cheesecakes, all kinds of things. But our focus is providing the most quality, sustainable product that we can. So we use natural sugars, Ghirardelli chocolates, fresh fruit, and we don't use any preservatives. So we're really just trying to do our part while providing the most quality and sustainable product.
Right.
So-
And then giving your secrets away by training other people how to do it.
We do that because I actually got into cannabis because I was on 22 prescriptions by the age of 22. I have a lot of health problems, and it just seemed like all they ever wanted to do was prescribe more prescriptions for offset the other prescriptions. So I looked into cannabis and CBD, and I started teaching myself how to infuse, how to make edibles, and I see how much it impacted my life. I feel like I got my life back through cannabis. As much as I'm not a veteran, I do fully understand PTSD. And so that's one of the, before even Angela got involved as a veteran, one of my first things I wanted to do as a business owner was teach veterans how to infuse. It's just really hard because a lot of the times they don't understand the difference between cannabis, getting high, and, you know, all the things that, you know, through the prohibition, you know, everybody thinking that cannabis is this bad thing, but through education, I just want to show them that, you know, it's a plant and it's made to heal, whereas pharmaceuticals just have no personality. And so I know personally how much it can give somebody their life and impact them, and I know how beneficial it would be for people with PTSD, like veterans, and between the health problems and the mental things, it can be such a benefit. So that's why I got involved with veterans, or trying to get involved with veteran associations in the first place, is just because I know how beneficial it can be.
Yeah, I'm assuming you both use yourself.
Yes, 100%. So it started with just personal use, and then I just wanted to make a bigger impact than just myself, you know.
So how did you guys meet?
Well, she was looking for an assistant, and I use CBD all the time for myself, and I applied for the job, and it was a perfect fit, and I love working with her. I got into cannabis for a totally different reason. It was for my husband. He's a veteran as well. He has PTSD, and the one time I saw him try cannabis and he was totally calm, I was like, oh my God, where can I get this? So once he started using it and I could saw it made a difference for him, I started trying it myself. I was 43 years old when I first started it. So I use it for pain and manage it. It's such a huge help for my management of pain.
Yeah.
And it's all the money that we get. This is a nonprofit. Very few people are paid for anything we do here. Most of us are volunteers. In fact, I'd say 99.9% of us are volunteers. We give our time only to help the veterans. And hopefully, like I said, with the help of you and your organization, we'll be able to add one more benefit to them in terms of education and teach them about the benefits of cannabis for PTSD.
Excellent. Excellent. Cool. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you for the tour. Again, thanks for having us here.
Okay.
For almost 5 years now, and we have an edibles line called Reefer Gladness. This is our wholesale rep, Amber. So
and you are?
I'm Sheena. And in the cannabis community, most of us try to join events that have to do with targeted groups, especially our veterans. There's an interesting lady here named Dr. Sue Sisley who actually fought to
Is
have.
Sue here?
I have not seen her today, but she's here. She's from Arizona.
Yes, yeah, I know her, but legend. Yes.
She fought to have PTSD on the list of conditions for medical marijuana card holders, which was a big win for our veterans. Today, being at the VFW at a cannabis event is a huge, another win for our veterans. So really happy to support and come out and join the Veterans Cannabis Group here today. So.
That's a quality comedy moment right there. Either of you veterans yourselves?
No.
You're serious like me. I mean, this is something I say to all civilians, there's not enough of us involved.
No. So Veterans Cannabis Group reached out to us last fall, and they were going to try to do this, but with coronavirus and the number of attendees, they decided to shift it to this year. And definitely, anytime it has to do with veterans, we want to be involved. As a matter of fact, Recio with Veterans Cannabis Group is going to facilitate Socks for Soldiers drive that we're going to start at All Nature's Medicines nationwide, starting on February 1st. Awesome. And it'll end on March 15th, which is the American Legion's birthday. And through Veterans Cannabis Group, we're going to get all those socks distributed nationwide. So. Super happy to partner with Recio.
Sorry, if you're in the VCG, you're going to be on camera sooner or later.
Yeah. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Tell me about the company. How did you guys get started?
For myself, when I was a medical card holder in Michigan, and then when I moved here, I wanted to go to Nature's because I had already heard about them a little bit, and honestly, it was like walking into the mothership. Like I wanted to work there the moment that I walked in. I used to work for a travel company that books travel for USAA members. So it was kind of a unique job that I had here in the desert, and I left that job to work at Nature's, and I've loved every moment of it. This is a really great cannabis community here in the state, and again, really supportive of our veterans and groups like this, like VCG. So we use bio-THC, which is a lot different than distillate, and today I'm so happy at the VFW, they had little classes and modules where people could learn, our vets could learn the difference between distillate infusion and edibles infusion. They learned how to dab today. As we continue to normalize the cannabis plant, anytime Nature's Medicines or Reefer Gladness can be there for that, we are there, especially in support of our veterans.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
I'm going to a hotel called the Clarendon after this, which apparently is now cannabis friendly.
It is.
My old PR buddy is the owner, so I'm going to see Katrina, his marketing person. Apparently there's some sort of dispensary event there tonight.
Yes.
Oh, you know about it?
Yes. She's like,
Are you going? Am I going to see you later on tonight?
Probably not. I choose one per weekend usually. This was my one.
Well, I appreciate you coming here for veterans instead.
We definitely wanted to be here for the Veterans Cannabis.
It's at the end of the day, a very crazy day, and I'm back at the hotel if you hadn't guessed by the wonderful artwork over my right shoulder here. What else can I say? But wow, veterans really are one of the best groups for showing cannabis as a medicine. It was wonderful to be able to see so many learning and educating themselves for the first time. So I'll be back, that's for sure. But for now, I've got to hit the sack. I'm absolutely, completely wiped out after an evening event we ended up going to. Get some wonderful free samples, and that'll be turning into some content at some point in the near future, I'm sure. But for now, that's it. I'm going to hit the sack. So good night, and thank you very much, VCG and VFW, for letting me film it.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.